Hey listeners, this is Himani Chickham with the Exclusively Literature podcast. This first episode will be about the book Six of Crows. Leigh Bardugo is the author of this book. The book is the first of its duology. It's called Six of Crows because there are 6 characters. The characters are part of a group called the Dregs, and there are 6 main ones, hence the title. And it's notable to mention that seeing 6 crows is supposed to be a superstition for death, which makes sense as to why Leigh Bardugo chose to make this book have 6 characters. There are 6 main characters. Their names are Kaz, Inej, Nina, Jesper, Matthias, and Wylan. Now, for some reason, I originally thought that Wylan was a villain, but then I googled it, and now I feel so stupid because months that I've been pronouncing this character's name wrong. That's fine. Let's get back on topic. Now, the setting of this book is in a city called Ketterdam. Describe it as an international trade center. Unlike most trade centers in the real world, quite dreary, and you couldn't exactly describe it as a pleasant place. Apparently, Leigh Bardugo was said to have based it on the city of Amsterdam, but I did not cross-reference that, so don't quote me on it. The city is the kind of place where you have to fight for literally everything, including, like, buildings, money, standing, really. I would say that all of the main characters, 6 of them, have a certain power dynamic. And you could say that they act like crows, because they're kind of criminals. They steal shiny things, other stuff. But I relate to that. Not the stealing part, but I do like shiny things. And the characters have experiences making them, who they are. They trust each other to a certain extent, you could say. They're very closed off with people outside of that small group. They have a certain power dynamic, as I mentioned. You could say that they have certain places in a deck of cards or pieces in chess. They have an obvious dynamic, and some are more powerful than others, but it depends on the position. They always have each other's back, because sometimes they're weak in certain places. For example, in chess, the king is valuable but not very powerful. In cards, the king isn't exactly valuable, but it's very powerful, which explains how the characters interact with one another. They're strong in some fields but weak in others, so they need each other. Now, if we go deeper into the plot, it's about, in short, them robbing a bank. I never said they were good people. They do have an ulterior motive, but we won't be talking about that as I don't want too many spoilers podcast. But essentially, the bank is known to be impossible to break into, as many people have tried and none have succeeded. But the main reason that they're doing it is because they're just common thieves, trained to be thieves, think differently than people trained to rob banks. And if you go deeper into the meaning of their group's name, the Dregs, it means the remnants or the most worthless parts of something. I would say that they're the underdogs, but they're also very morally gray characters. Exactly have the best of intentions, if you know what I'm saying. But even though they're not the most honorable or even slightly ethical people, they're what makes this book what it is. Of course, the plot is great, but the book is really what ties it all together. There's quite a lot of world building in this book, and there are 3 series made by this author in the same universe. This is the second one. So if you're gonna read this book, reading the series before, here's a quick run through of how the world works. So some people have magical powers called Grisha, and a lot of the time they have to fight in wars from a young age. Once you're about 6, Grisha are taken away to train for war. They're divided into 3 groups. One focuses on the human body, one focuses on the manipulation of elements, one focuses on the ability to manipulate certain materials like glass or metal. It also has a certain humor aspect. For example, this little snippet from the book I find hilarious. And what I find even funnier is that the true answer to the question, what's the easiest way to steal a man's wallet? The character Kaz just says, tell him you're gonna steal his watch. Which isn't funny, but it should be. Can't seem to find out why. But to wrap up this episode, I'd say that I would definitely recommend this book to people who enjoy fantasy books, as well as Gothic or Renaissance books. And just a fair warning, the book starts off a little bit slow, but you'll absolutely love this book once you get to the middle. That's all, but for the next episode, either expect the sequel to Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom, or possibly a character war, Percy Jackson versus Harry Potter. Who would win in a fight? Stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And to end on a few criminal crow puns, who was the criminal crow running from? The cops.
Please, you must excuse me.